Hello, everyone. I am hopping on right now to let you know that this will be the last episode of the Therapy in the Great Outdoors podcast. So, you may have listened to the last episode over a year ago when I said I was going on a hiatus, which became a year. And I took that time because my practice, my nature based therapy practice, was significantly expanding last year. And we had a lot of changes happening in the business. I had just hired a COO to run the business and had her trained, and then she went out on maternity leave. I bought another practice during that time and expanded my business to a new location. And so we were short staffed and dealing with onboarding a lot of new employees. I also hired more people to expand both of those locations. So it was such a busy year. So I stepped back from a lot of my work where I support nature based therapists and business owners. I did not run my business coaching program at all last year. And now I am making a very big pivot in my business coaching. So I think sometimes we think that a business can get to a place where it is fully stable and everything is just running smoothly and nothing will ever change. And that is just not true. You are always going to be making changes, pivoting, learning, growing as a business owner. And that means that nothing ever really stays the same. You have to learn how to adapt and be flexible if you are going to run any business, much less a nature based business and support for nature based therapists, where like nature itself, it's always changing, always growing. There's like so many factors that are different than what other business owners may experience. So I want to explain a little bit here about why I'm making a pivot. So I am starting a new podcast because I want to talk more about business than about therapy. And I will share more on that first episode of the new podcast, deeper into the details, because I don't know if all of you listening to this really want to hear all those details. That will be on the first episode of the new podcast. It will be called the Well Women Business Podcast. I am expanding my business coaching services to be for women who are in the growing phase of a health or wellness business. The reason I'm doing this is not because I don't love nature based therapists. I love all of you so much. I feel very comfortable with all of you. And yet, when we are really going to be good entrepreneurs, if you are comfortable, you probably are not growing. And so I have been scared for a really long time to expand my business coaching services and programs to a wider audience because I just feel very safe and comfortable with nature-based pediatric therapists of all kinds. And I have been told by a lot of friends and people that I have coached that I have skills that could help a much wider audience of people. And so I'm pivoting to this new kind of model in my business coaching because I want to be fully who I was created to be. And I love talking about business. I also enjoy talking about therapy and nature-based therapy and outdoor therapy, but I don't love it nearly as much as I love talking about business. If you've been in my Contigo Approach nature-based therapist certification, you know that sometimes on those calls when we are doing the mentoring calls, people will ask a question and my mind immediately goes to business. It's something like inside of me that is a passion of mine that I can't let go of. And I have found that I feel a little bit just like I'm needing to follow that gut feeling that I have right now. And also, I'm very scared to do this because it could totally flop. And it also is like starting over. And expanding to a whole new audience of people who don't know me at all. And I mean, some of you will be in that audience too because you are running businesses. So I'm going down a rabbit hole. Sorry. I clearly don't have a script for this podcast. I'm speaking from the heart here. So I'm making this shift and I'm making this pivot. So what is going to happen now with Therapy in the Great Outdoors? It is not going away. I am keeping my business, Therapy in the Great Outdoors, open. The website, the online community that is free for anyone who is interested in nature-based pediatric therapy, that is going to stay up indefinitely. I don't have plans to close that. It runs itself. You all support each other there. I do have to check in weekly and, manage things, but it's a pretty low lift for me and pretty easy to do. I don't really make money doing that though. And I do, at my age, I'm going to be 50 in June, you guys. Oh my gosh, I'm turning 50. But I feel like I'm 30. So, I guess I'm still young. So anyway, at my age and at my stage in business, I do have to think realistically about what actually can support and be sustainable for me to financially support myself and my family. That's just a reality of running a business. And so I am keeping the Therapy in the Great Outdoors community up, but it is kind of like a service because I pay for that platform and really we don't make money on the free community. It's just a service for nature-based therapists to be in community with one another. I am keeping Contigo open. The plan right now, this is 2026 when I'm recording this. The plan is that the Contigo nature-based therapist certification will continue to run as it has the last several years. We open in February, April, and September for cohorts that run in March, May, and October. So you can get on the wait list for that at contigoapproach.com. And the way I open is I just send an email to people on the wait list. It is very simple, very easy. I don't even change the join the wait list buttons on the website anymore. It is a very not the way they tell you to do online business launch, quote unquote, that I do for opening enrollment for Contigo, because my philosophy is that if this is the program that's right for you at the right time that I send you that email, then you will jump on board. There's really, I guess there is stuff I could do to market it more widely and things like that, but I'm very happy with having the cohorts that we do. We typically have about 10 people that enroll each time we open enrollment. And it's a very easy thing for me to send out some friendly emails notifying people on the wait list that it is open. And it is on autopilot as much as something can be on autopilot. I just made huge revisions to like a bunch of stuff inside of that course. So it is set, or that program, I should say. I always say it's not just an online course. It's really like a mentorship program and a certification program. But I made a lot of edits to that in the very start of this year. So it is up to date now and has a lot of new research, and we revamped how we structure some things in the course, some of the assignments. And I think that it is just top notch and so good. And I just feel like it's a great offer for people that I don't really have to spend a lot of time trying to market, because people can see the value for it. And there's so many testimonials that it just kind of quote unquote sells itself when I remind people that the enrollment is open. That is going to continue. We are opening enrollment tomorrow, actually, when this, I guess I'll publish this today. It's Wednesday, and I'm opening enrollment on Thursday. And it will open, and then we will run our cohorts for the rest of this year in May and October. What else? I am not going to be offering anymore the Business Hive and my Business Bedrocks program. My plan is to make the legacy retired version of Business Bedrocks free to anyone who wants to go through it on your own. You will not have the support of a community and me coaching you and the calls and all the things that were included in the Hive program, the business coaching program that I used to have. But the reality is that I am in a different phase of business now. And I feel like the startup phase for me, it's very hard to it's actually not hard. It's almost too easy for me to coach for the for the startup phase. And that's why my new podcast will be focusing on the growth stage of business, because I've learned about myself that I really enjoy teaching while I am going through something. I love learning something and then sharing that with other people. And so it's hard for me to be focusing on startup when I did that 10 years ago. And now I'm in a completely different phase of business. So my business is set to hit $1 million this year. We're aiming for 1.1 million. And it's just a very different way of thinking and having to show up as a leader. And so I want to explore that in this new podcast that I am going to be publishing probably in early June. So that is the plan. Therapy in the Great Outdoors community is staying. Contigo is staying. The Business Hive will not be on offer anymore. I will plan to make the Business Bedrocks workbook and curriculum available for anyone who wants to self-study it. And then when you are ready, you can come into my new business coaching program, which will be for women in health and wellness who are growing their businesses. So what I'm planning to do is have an entry level of, if you're making about $100,000 in revenue, you would enter that program. That will be being offered this summer at some point. I'm still in the works of building all of that. So I think that's it. I want to say thank you to all of you. If you have been a listener to the podcast, if you have been a member of the Therapy in the Great Outdoors community, if you have ever interacted with me in any way, shape, or form, whether in person or over Instagram or other things, I just value all of you so much. And the work that you are doing to get kids out into the natural world and connecting with nature and connecting with one another is a gift to this world. It is what is needed right now. And I'm so grateful for all of you. It makes me so happy to think of the ripple effect of the Therapy in the Great Outdoors community being all out there, all over the world, taking care of children and families and just building those connections. So I'm grateful for all of you and just rooting you on and encouraging you in all the work that you are doing. So that's it. You can find me over on the Well Women Business podcast shortly and inside of the Therapy in the Great Outdoors community as usual. Love you all. Bye.